Hi folks, HR Funk here with two very special Smith & Wesson revolvers. What I have with me today are my Smith & Wesson Model 686 Plus 357 Magnum and my Model 629 44 Magnum, both of which have been customized by Magnaport International. Now, I don't know about all of you, but back in the day, I used to read pretty much every firearms publication that I could get my hands on. And one of the things that I noticed was pretty much any writer who was worth his typewriter had at least one firearm, and sometimes more, that had been customized by one of the well-respected gunsmiths of the day. So when I got to the point that I had a couple of firearms that I wanted to get customized, I had to try to figure out where to send them to have that work done. Eventually, I settled on Magnaport International. Now, Magnaport is most well known for its signature porting, intended to reduce felt recoil and muzzle rise on firearms with a stout recoil impulse. But what some people don't know is Magnaport is also a full-service gunsmithing shop. I think these two revolvers give a pretty good idea of the type of work that you can have done by Magnaport International, and I'm going to give you a close-up look at each one, talk about the work that was done on these revolvers, and eventually we'll head out to the range and do a little bit of shooting. My Model 686 Plus was the first firearm that I sent off to Magnaport, so it's the first one we'll take a close-up look at. This particular 686 Plus was manufactured in about 1999. And as you can see, it was manufactured prior to the point that they put the key lock in the side of the frame. However, it does have the frame-mounted firing pin. This one no longer is mounted on the hammer. So when I took it to Magnaport, there were several things that I wanted to have done to it. First off, I wanted the action to be tuned. Secondly, I had Magnaport apply a bead-blasted finish to the surface of this revolver, but I also had them polish certain parts. You can see the cylinder flutes are all polished. The cylinder release is polished. The ejector rod is polished. And the trigger and hammer are both polished and jeweled. And this gives this firearm a very classy look, as you can see. I don't shoot this particular revolver a lot because really I don't want to mess up its appearance, but I have fired it. It does shoot very well, and there are also some modifications that aren't apparent from looking at the outside of the 686 Plus. Magnaport recut the forcing cone to help guide the bullet better into the barrel and help improve accuracy. Also, as I showed a little while ago, they ported the barrel, and they did perform that action job. And the action on this 686 Plus is wonderful. As you can see, it is just perfect to stage the pull at the point right before the hammer drops, and then with just slightly more pressure on the trigger, you can fire the revolver. It makes it very easy to acquire your target, take up the slack, and then fire a good accurate shot with this revolver. The single action pull, I wish I could hand you this revolver through the screen so you could feel that. It is tremendous. What a wonderful break on that single action, and we'll check it in a little bit with the Lyman trigger pull gauge and see exactly where that trigger breaks. With the 629, I had some different work done. Actually, I had some of the same work done on the 629 and a few different things. I did have that same bead blasted finish on the 629, although as you can see, the cylinder flutes are not polished on this revolver, nor is the cylinder release. The hammer and trigger are polished but not jeweled, and they're basically polished to a mirror finish, as you see there. The muzzle has been counterbored to help protect the rifling. It does also have the porting. It has the recut forcing cone. And one thing that I did not show you on the 686, and I hope this shows up, is Magnaport numbers the cylinders, which is very nice. If you keep track of which chambers give you the best accuracy or strike closest to your point of aim, you can make sure, particularly with a hunting revolver like this, that you have that chamber lined up for your first shot when you cock the revolver, and make sure you fire the most accurate shot possible. The 629 also has an action job, which, like the 686, is just tremendous. Beautiful single action break there. The 629 has a sling attached. Again, this is a hunting revolver, so it gives you an option when you're out in the field to be able to go hands-free and sling your revolver. And I had Magnaport International install the scope mount, and this is a TSOB scope mount. The buroscope I had before, so I just had them install the mount and mount this particular scope. Okay, let's check these Magnaport tuned actions. First is going to be the 686 Plus, and I'll try the double action first. Just over 7 pounds. 7 pounds, 0.8 ounces. On a lot of double action revolvers, the trigger pull is so heavy that it won't even register on the Lyman trigger pull scale. This is a very, very nice double action pull. And on we go to the single action pull on the 686 Plus. £2, 15.8 ounces. Essentially 3 pounds. A 3 pound single action trigger pull. That is phenomenal, and it breaks wonderfully. And on we go to the action on the 629. £9, 9.7 ounces on the double action pull. Now, as a hunting revolver, this will almost never be fired in double action, but still, just a tremendous double action pull on this 629. Now we'll go to the single action pull. And again, basically a 3 pound pull. 3 pounds, 0.3 ounces. So in the role this revolver would be used in, you would be getting a 3 pound trigger pull for the maximum accuracy you could get from this particular revolver. Folks, I don't really feel like talking about these revolvers anymore. It's been a while since I shot either one of them, and it's time to rectify that situation. Let's head out to the range and run some ammo through each one and see how they shoot. And as you can see, I've arrived out at the range, and in just a couple of minutes I'm going to start to do some shooting with my Magnaport customized revolvers. But before that, I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of you who participated in my first ever live stream last night. I was kind of nervous coming into that, and I wasn't sure what to expect, but because of all of you and your participation, it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and I'm already thinking about the next live stream that I'm going to do. And what I've decided is I'd like to do that in conjunction with reaching 20,000 subscribers for my channel. And it's not that far away. As of this morning, I'm at 17,122 or something like that. So just a few thousand more, and I've arrived at that goal of 20,000. So if you enjoyed the live stream last night and you want to do it again soon, you might want to maybe talk to some of your friends or relatives who have an interest in firearms. Maybe suggest they take a look at some of my videos, and if they subscribe, that gets us that much closer to the 20,000 subscribers and the next live stream. So how's that for a little bit of good old-fashioned extortion on a snowy winter morning? Incidentally, folks, if it looks like I've suddenly gained several pounds, that's because I have, and it's all in the form of wool and cotton. I'm seriously bundled up to come out here today, so again, if I look like the kid from A Christmas Story who couldn't get up when he fell down in the snow, that's probably me. If I fell down right now, I probably couldn't get back up. But I'm wearing a lot of clothes. It is kind of cool out here today. And here we go, folks. First up is going to be my 4-inch 686 Plus. And what I've decided that I'm going to do with these two revolvers is shoot them through some different drills that are most applicable for their intended purpose, meaning I'm going to do some more defensive oriented drills with the 686 Plus, and with the 629 I'm going to do some shooting that's a little bit more hunting oriented. So to begin with the 686 Plus, I'm just going to do one of my standard 30-foot accuracy tests. So I'm going to be doing slow fire shooting from a distance of 30 feet, and we'll see what kind of accuracy I can get from the Magnaport customized 686 Plus. By the way, folks, this is full power 158 grain factory 357 Magnum ammunition, and between the barrel cylinder gap, the porting, and the muzzle, we might get a little bit of a light show from this revolver. And I got a misfire, which I don't remember ever having with this revolver before. That strikes me as kind of odd. Not sure if I got just a bad factory round or what might have happened. I'll try it again. I think I was back to the first cartridge that time. I don't think that was a second misfire. Okay, let's open it up and see what's going on there. That was back to the first cartridge, so I did not have a second misfire. And I've got a light primer strike on this Perfecta factory ammunition. Let's see if it'll go on a second strike. And it definitely went the second time around. So, I have to keep an eye on that. Maybe it's just an incompatibility with this particular ammunition and this revolver. In fact, I've got some other 357 Magnum ammunition with me out here. I think I'm going to switch it over and we'll see how it does with that. Accuracy-wise, the 686 Plus was doing very well. I managed to pull one shot a little bit high from the group. I wasn't really taking my time on this. I was basically lining up the sights and squeezing the trigger. So this group is probably a little bit bigger than it could have been, but even so, of the 7 shots that I fired, 6 of them are within a little over an inch, maybe inch and a half. Well, folks, it's one of those days out here on the range. I started to have problems with my 686 Plus as soon as I started the first drills with it, and the problems that I'm having are misfires. And I've tried 2 different types of factory ammunition at this point, and I'm still getting those misfires very routinely, like every other shot. And I think at this point I'm going to stop the test for this. It's going to have to go back to Magnaport, and they're going to have to dial that trigger pull that is so nice up a little bit, just so I get reliable ignition from the revolver. But if at first you don't succeed, etc., etc., I'm going to move on to the 629 and we'll do some shooting with it. And I'm now set up with the 629 at a distance of 25 yards. We'll see if my fortunes improve. I'm going to start out doing just a little bit of bullseye shooting on a target, and then we'll move on from there and see if I can find something a little bit more interesting to shoot at. That one was my fault, folks. Didn't quite have a good grip, and the recoil got me a little bit. First one was a good shot. Ah, the heck with it. Let's splash some water bottle desperados. Okay folks, as you've seen, it's not been a good day out here today. That's what I get for coming out on a day like this instead of staying at home in bed where it's warm and drinking coffee until it got late enough in the day to start drinking something else. In any case, I've now got 3 desperados set up at a distance of 25 yards. I've got 6 shots loaded up into the 629. Let's see if I can make their day worse than mine. There's one desperado down. Three desperados up and 3 desperados down to the 629. And coming down here to see the carnage, those 240 grain jacketed soft points did a number on those desperados. Not that I think they'd have any problem with them. Well folks, after dispensing with those desperados, I've got 3 rounds left in the 629. So what the heck, let's see if it's a 25-yard tack driver. And not on the first shot. Still having a hard time getting anchored in behind the revolver. See if I can move things around a little bit, do a little bit better with the second shot. And I tried to compensate that time. It looks like I compensated a little bit too much. So I have 1 shot left to find out if the 629 is a tack driver. And I'm just going to put this one right on and squeeze. And no, in keeping with the day, the 629, at least with me behind the trigger today, is not a tack driver. Well folks, like I said, one of those days at the range, even my shooting bench doesn't want to cooperate. Apparently it's frozen and I can't get it to fold back up the way it's supposed to. So, in any case, at least I had a good run on the water bottle desperados with the 629, so hopefully you got to enjoy that. In any case, if you have any questions or comments on this video, as always, make sure you forward those to me. Remember, if you order anything from Optics Planet, be sure to use my discount code, which is... And if you use that discount code, it's good for 5% off anything you order from Optics Planet. See you next time, folks, and hopefully, better than this next time, good shooting. Bye-bye.